meet you. We're here in Los Angeles, California, and we want to tell you about our first concert ever. Mine was The Who. I was into The Who forever. It was one of the first bands ever I got into. Also, it was one of the first bands I was into. Sorry, no. Pete Townsend was like one of the greatest guitar players I ever witnessed. I mean, he just had the coolest moves, biggest rock and roll heart. And of course, Roger Daltrey has a range that no one really acknowledges. So I don't know, my dad just started playing it around the house, and The Who's a real, like, it's a good rock and roll band for Europe, I realized. And this is how it came about. My dad took all my brothers to see Deep Purple, and I love Deep Purple too. And I got so mad because I was too young, I guess. I don't know. And so I was like, what the hell? So he made it up to me by taking me to The Who. And at that time it was John Entwistle, which I was really lucky to experience, and Roger and Pete, and then like I think just a good studio musician band, and I think that's about it. They played all their hits and some. I think they even played Boris the Spider. It was crazy. Oh, it was at the Hollywood Bowl.
Did you get to see any opener?
Oh, there was an opener. I don't remember it because The Who was so sick. That's how awesome The Who is.
How old were you when you saw The Who?
Oh, that's a good point. I was like 9 or 10, maybe 9 or 10. So right when I started playing music, right when I started picking up instruments, and yeah, it was awesome.
My first concert was Kool and the Gang opening up for Van Halen.
Damn! Slam!
Yeah, saw them in San Diego. It's like at Pachanga Casino, and yeah, I like grew up listening to Van Halen 1, just like top to bottom, Running with the Devil all the way down. Just got finger tapping, like noodling and all that kind of stuff, and just really wanted to see Dave Lee Roth and wanted to see Eddie Van Halen. So very lucky to say that I saw him play live.
How old were you again?
I was 8 years old when I saw that.
Dang!
I was really old. I was 11 years old. I was 11 years old when I saw Kool and the Gang open up for Van Halen.
My first concert was when I was about 11 years old.
Yeah.
I went to see AC/DC when they went to Argentina.
Nice.
They were touring there, and it was an incredible experience. My brother took me there, and I don't know if you ever saw those videos on YouTube of them performing at River Plate. The crowd jumping up
All
and
in
down.
sync.
It's so insane.
All the horns.
It was such a crazy moment. The stadium was shaking, actually. So yeah, that was my first concert, and I don't remember who opened either, actually.
Yeah, it's hard to open up for those bands, man.
Yeah, no, some Argentinian band opened, but they started throwing them stuff.
They started like throwing tomatoes and
Bottles. Yeah, and they were like, guys, don't worry, AC/DC is coming next, don't worry, just bear with us.
Damn.
But it was amazing.
My first concert was The Dead when I was like 4 or something like that.
The Dead, man.
Yeah, yeah, it was The Dead, so it was without Jerry Garcia, but I believe Phil Lesh, Bob Weir, the 2 drummers were there. They had Warren Haynes on guitar from Government Mule. But yeah, it was awesome. My dad and my mom were big Deadheads, so they got me and my brother into them at a pretty young age, even though it took me like 15 years to like actually appreciate them. But yeah, it was definitely something that I remember. Well, will remember for the rest of my life probably. It was super fun. They also played Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and I remember.
How long?
Huh?
For how long?
Half the show.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe 11 minutes or something.
Damn.
I don't know, but it was cool because like the piano or whatever.
Yeah.
Like within like the first 5 notes, my brother and I were both like Lucy, and like everyone around us like looked at my dad, gave him a thumbs up, was like you did good job raising your kids.
My first concert was Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney at what was Cowboy Stadium. It's now AT&T Stadium. But at Cowboy Stadium, I would have been 7 years old. I remember it so clearly, and I was wearing like a yellow submarine shirt, and it had like a green blue like tie-dye design, of course, with the guys on it. But yeah, of course, Paul plays like 3-hour shows still, and in 2009 he would have been I don't know, probably like in his late 60s, and he's just still up there rocking 3-hour shows. And of course, he has such an amazing back catalog along with all of the hits that he's made. And it was I mean, Paul McCartney is probably my favorite artist of all time. You know, the Beatles are my favorite band. But one big thing about that show was that it was my whole immediate family, my dad, my mom, my brother. And my brother, he was 9 years old, God bless him. But he, in the middle of Live and Let Die, like during the whole show, he was like, "Oh, I'm so tired. I don't really like these songs." But eventually, at Live and Let Die, and if anyone's ever seen Live and Let Die when they do it live, fireworks and like, you know, the lights, and it's a huge like extravaganza when they play that song. Like while they're doing that song, my brother's like, "Can we go home?" And mom just turns to me and she's like, "You gotta go home." I'm like what? We have to go. We have to what? And so, you know, we're out of there just walking away from Paul McCartney as he's playing Live and Let Die. And of course, Cowboy Stadium is so giant. We're still walking out of there, and we hear them start playing "Hey Jude."
Oh.
And I just
No.
I still love my brother. Don't get me wrong. But that was difficult. But that was still such a magical show. I got a lot of show out of that, but it would have been nice to see the encores. But that was my first.